Where are you guys? There you are. Hello everyone. Welcome back. Let me know if everything sounds okay. Before we get started. The music, is it a bit loud? It's kind of quiet for me though. Or is that the game? The game audio. I don't know. Let me know if anything is strange. I'm a bit quiet. Music is a bit loud. How do I change this? Because for me, music is actually quiet. So I don't want to just increase that. I could try changing this. Oh, okay. How does this sound? New tech was found that lets you pin warp noodle flies specifically. Is it because they're kind of like a spear? Okay, this tells me that I'm way too loud. OBS is screaming at me. No, we'll leave it. And then the music. It might have just been that one song that was like a bit loud. Well, I'll leave it at this. Whatever. And I'll get some opinions from other people too. But here's a character I haven't played in a while. Oh, it's similar to Deer Skip. Huh. So I've had some issues with Artificer because I want to do the same kind of practice that I would normally do, where I disable creatures and then do the practice run to learn the movements, to get good at the movements, right? And then only turn creatures back on for the actual run. The problem with Artificer is that they rely on creatures. Oh man, I really don't like that it's doing that. Maybe I'll just have to lower the other volume. Here, I'll do that. I have to just mess with the settings a bit. So what I ended up doing is I got a different mod. And this mod should prevent creatures from spawning, but these scavengers here, for example, they're still here. But it also, when I tried to go into Metropolis, it did not work at all. So I don't know if that's a problem with the mod or... Also, right here on this spot, this is where I used to get a vulture mask. Now I'm thinking, do I try to gift the vulture mask? Because it would go faster if I could make the same progress without the mask. But also, one mask you literally bring throughout the entire run, and it saves. It's a very nice convenience to not have to worry about any creature at all. Or not every creature at all, of course. Just the lizards, but there's so many lizards, that's like the majority of them. I might try to do some runs where I skip the vulture mask. Just to see like how reasonable that is. If I can maybe get some good runs. It would just save time overall, right? Because best case scenario with the vulture mask is that a vulture shows up immediately and you demask it immediately. And you barely lose any time at all, but you still gain the vulture mask. But that just takes so many resets. The main problem with the vultures is having to reset so many times. Just get one good start to a run. I don't really like the movement in this room. Yeah, I would die more in Chimney and the wall. And Metropolis too, there's lizards there. I don't know if it's worth it because you reset so much the vultures. Like 80% of the time you do this run, you're dying to vultures. Or you're like just resetting the first like 2 minutes. But keeping the mask makes it significantly more likely that I just get out of garbage waste, right? And I mean, let's say that I die the same amount of times. You know, let's say like with the vulture mask, I die like 10 times to getting the mask out of like 15 runs. But the 5 next runs make it all the way to Metropolis, okay? The alternative is I skip the mask and I don't die to the vulture mask, but I still die 10 times because I don't have the mask. Then in that case, the deaths would just be later, right? I would still die the same number of times because I didn't have the mask, but it would be later in the run. So it would lose more, it would take more time overall. See, this train is kind of awkward. Because you're starting from this spot, right? Let the explosion cool down for a bit. But so what I do is I jump, roll, then you get to jump here, and then there. So you're okay. You're gonna be like walking by the time you get here. I don't like just. It feels like really slow to just. Unless maybe I did like that. But then if you try to keep moving forward, you kind of slide off the pole, so you have to slow down. That could work out. Like intentionally bonk into the ceiling to slow yourself down. Although that is a little bit counterproductive, isn't it? Yeah, that was actually really precise timing. I guess that's fine. I guess that like is functional. And here you kind of do this like rolling thing. Hello, welcome to the stream. How I plan to make this run better? When I ran Artificer previously, I almost exclusively focused on the creature RNG. The idea was basically just to do attempts until I got lucky, and I did. Eventually I got lucky and I just managed to run through the whole run without any deaths to all the horrible places filled with creatures, right? I never practice movement though, because normally the way I practice movement is to use the mod to disable creatures and then just do the run a bunch with no threat of dying, right? But with Artificer, I figured there's so many creatures that there's like pretty much no chance that you're never gonna not see creatures. So I might as well practice with them all the time. But it meant that my movement was actually worse, I think. That I didn't quite learn the best ways to move through rooms. So I'm thinking, or like best how to take advantage of like the double jumps that you have. So like I'm thinking of really trying to practice movement specifically, and then still deal with creature RNG of course. But I know that compared to my previous run, compared to my current record for Artificer, at least like 30 seconds can be saved pretty easily by getting luckier, of course. But I'm thinking, like, let's say that I can save those 30 seconds due to better creature interactions and like a better boss fight and whatever. And what if my movement is also just better? Like, what if I save like a whole minute? Okay, what is up with this? I think more time save is possible. I think I'm gonna aim for a sub 19 run. Do I do a diagonal jump here? Now the problem with DevTools is that I dropped the scavenger body. I'm holding the scavenger body because it does have an impact on your movement. So I'm just carrying it for consistency. Whoops, that was dead tools. Let me turn that off next time. Hello, welcome to the stream. You know what? Oh. Can't stay on the back glitter. That's how it always is. Anyway, I want to test if it's actually faster to jump diagonally compared to horizontally. It looks like it's faster, doesn't it? Just go sideways. The idea is that, like, what if you hold diagonally, you might go at the same speed upwards, and like, actually I can just test it right here, at least vertically. If I do a jump straight up, I make it about here. I can use the mouse as a reference. That's about as high as I make it. If I do a diagonal jump, do I make it the same height? It kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, it's about the same height. So if I do a diagonal jump, it's like I'm still getting the full speed boost from a vertical jump and a horizontal jump. So you might as well do the diagonal jump to, like, maintain the speed for longer, right? But it kind of looks like I'm not moving. You know, I could test this. I'll test it later. I'll just find a long flat room and I'll just do a bunch of diagonal jumps and horizontal jumps to see how they compare. But I kind of realized, hold on, could you do something here? You could. I think my old strategy for this room was to jump up here and then up here. But if this could work, I mean, yeah, I guess so. I guess that's possible. But I was thinking about it. How many times did I stream Emps of Artificer's story? I'm gonna check that right now. It's quite a long time ago at this point. I did 7 streams. Yeah. So think about this. Only 7 streams to get the record for Artie. And consider that I actually got several runs that made it all the way to the last few rooms, right? So, yes, the last few rooms are very dangerous. And you're likely to die there. But I still made it to the very end several times. Within those only 7 streams. Compared to Spearmaster, which took like 25 or something streams. I should probably remember the exact number. Spearmaster... yeah, 25 streams. So it took like 3 times as many streams. Some of them were probably a lot longer too. To finish a single run for that. Whereas for Artie it took, you know, way less. For more attempts that made it to the very end at least. So like maybe this like category isn't too bad, especially if I maybe can learn some better strategies for like the dangerous areas, or if I optimize movement better. Also in this room you can do rolls. I think the scavenger body affects your movement somehow. Yeah, you can do a bunch of rolls there. Here I think it might be better to do this. What would a diagonal jump do here? That's not a diagonal jump, is it? See, the moment you fling yourself around, it drops the scav body. Annoying. There we go. I'm like worried about hitting the ceiling with the diagonal jump, but I guess it still works fine. Most of those work there. Why did that drop you? Headphones are kind of broken. Should I try to get consistent at this? I think you can make this with the slide bounce. But the problem with the slide bounce is that if you do a slide bounce right next to like at the very end of a platform, like here, it just like does not do the jump. So you're trying to do the jump as late as possible, but if you're too late, then it just doesn't work at all. I guess I could do a double jump here, just to make sure that I make it in for safety. That's probably fine. And I need to hold up. What happened there? I feel like I grabbed the pole. Yeah, look at that. I grabbed the pole facing the other direction. I'm just holding up. Okay, at least it seems to be consistent. Also, can I make it up here with one jump? I can, but it's close. It's about to ring. Maybe a little bit too close for... I mean, it seems fine. I mean, let's say that I'm not high enough. If I tried to... I mean, I feel like that's still recoverable. Yeah, if I really need to. That's very much possible, though. And use for wall pounces, I actually disable, well, like, thank you for reminding me, I want to disable wall pounces. I think they're still enabled right now, but I'm going to turn them off. I think they're really annoying. You tend to accidentally wall pounce when you, hold up, can you do some things here? You tend to accidentally wall pounce when you do double jumps. And let's say that you're trying to, a stamina display. That's an interesting idea. But if you're trying to like climb up a wall, like let's say for whatever reason I want to double jump up here, right? Like that's a very basic, like, let's just do a jump up in this direction. If you wall pounce right here, then you suddenly go backwards. You bounce off of the wall away from the direction that you want to go. So that happens all the time. Like I want the wall jump, or I want to double jump up here, and then you bounce off of it. I want to see if I can get that, if I can get these rules to work. Yeah, I do have wall punches enabled. Kind of like that too. That's great. That's good. The scavenger button lets you wall jump or it lets you like roll in those like short tunnels. Is this possible? Oh. Hmm. It looks very close though. Like you could do that if you really want to. That's the thing that Rip does, and it didn't work as well. Like that's very close. I'm trying to get that like boost at the end of a. It's possible, and it looks like it's very fast too, right? This is basically the same strategy as Riv, right? And here you can do a diagonal jump. I mean, a diagonal jump up here. I'm happy about that. So I want to test. Let's test up here. So I think this is a good spot for it. Let's really see. I'll leave the body over there. Let's see if it's better to do diagonal or horizontal jumps. So I have this timer. Is that on screen? There we go. I can use that to see how long this takes. So let's just turn it on. And hold on, where do I want to go to? How about let's try to make it to this little thing right here. So I'm just gonna do very basic that was about 8 seconds. I was a little bit late on hitting that, but 8 seconds for that. Okay, that's definitely faster, but I feel like maybe it's just because I landed sooner. I was able to do another jump quicker, right? So I'm gonna do like 4 jumps, okay? If I do the same number of jumps for each test, then it should tell me how much time each jump saves, right? So 4. I'll just walk the rest of the way. Yeah, okay, so about 8.5. And I'm not doing roll pounces, so I'll test those too. So it's still faster. I think just definitively horizontal boosts are faster. And it looks like they're faster, right? And let's try a few other things just to see. Because you don't want to just technically like this is the fastest way to move, right? Maybe. But you're using up so many double jumps. You know, it's inefficient. I'm just starting a run. Yep, starting a survivor run because I got tired of Artificer already. Let's do roll pounces with the diagonal jumps. That was only a little bit faster. Just under 8 seconds. But it was pretty stamina efficient, right? I only did a handful of jumps. This was better. I think that feels like the best option for easy movement. Horizontal jumps with the roll pounds to space them out a little bit. Today, Rivulet, congrats. I hope that means that you already be Artificer, because we're going to be going places here. I'm going to test this other strategy that I've had for kind of maintaining the speed of a horizontal jump. Okay, I kind of messed it up. The problem now is that it's a little bit more difficult than just doing like roll passes and stuff. I feel like ideally this is the best option because you kind of keep the speed going for longer, and you don't use too many jumps. But this definitely does say that horizontal jumps are just better. Like basically, don't do diagonal jumps unless it's like for like good spacing, or if you need the height. Just for speed, it's always worth it to do horizontal. But just don't do too many of them because you do want to preserve your jumps for when it's actually more important. Because it's better to use. Oh, I dropped a few frames. That's annoying. But it's usually better to use a double jump to like get over an obstacle that would be more difficult otherwise, compared to just using the double jump for going faster, right? You want to save the double jump for that one moment where also scammers are no longer necessary. So it's like good to like use a movement that's stamina efficient, so that you can then use it for in like more impactful places. I like that jump. What was that? What did I do that I actually forgot immediately? Okay. So like a jump out of the pipe. And then you can do a roll pounce immediately into the wall jump. Now there's a little bit of movement tech that is streaming just before you can watch. I mean, I guess that's better than streaming after you can watch. Like I'm still gonna be going for a few more hours. Just means that you missed the start. I hate picking up bat flies. Why is that a mechanic? I understand maybe for new players, if you like really need to uh-oh, that's almost used for wall pounces. I mean, I think this would do the same thing, almost. Not quite, actually. Uh-oh, we're gonna have to enable wall pounces for Artie. Promise Tetris is tomorrow, okay? You just misremembered. Yeah, and then if you want to hold on to a bat fly, you always end up accidentally picking up other items. Oh, I have a rock all of a sudden. Where'd this come from? What is that emote? That rivulet. Also, I think I found that it was better to do this. Yeah, they have built-in magnets. Of course. So what would it be better here? I think just like a vertical jump right like that, or wall pounce. I'm not gonna route in wall pounces. I'll disable those after this run. I guess vertical is decent, but there's usually so many lizards here. you just need to pick whichever option avoids the lizards, you know. I guess that's fine. And I guess here, a double jump is good there. By the way, I could find some movements that works really well in a room, but I'm actually not able to use it because the movement that I did in the previous room used too many double jumps, and I don't have enough stamina for the next room. Jump store to reach the pole in the previous room. The room before this one? Or, I mean, before here. You mean in this room? Had wall paths on for any percent? That sounds even worse because they're just going down. Actually, maybe not. Because usually it's annoying as Artificer when you're trying to go up and you accidentally wall pounce away from a wall. Like, let's say I'm down here. Whoops, oh, I really grabbed. Like, let's say you're here, you want to jump up. Yeah, that kind of like wall pounce there. Yeah, that's really annoying. Of course, it's hard to do on purpose. Jump sword from the ledge to grab the pole at the top. What? Oh. Here? I mean... I don't know. I'm not understanding something. For all of these jumps, the double jump does give you enough extra heights. Or the backflip. But before wall skip, before like orb skip. Oh, this one? I mean... You can do a lot of things here. You can use a rock, for example. Just get extra height. Actually, that doesn't work. Or like this. That's not a jump boost. Or jump store. I mean... That does work. I feel like it's not too much worse to do the ghost pipe. Like Riv can do that much faster because they're just fast, you know. One like corner wall pounce is ton of height. Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. And also, like, here. I grab off the pole. And also, this, like, this, whatever this is, right here, on this spot, this is where I like to do the jump. Just kidding. It's bad. And you're do a jump there. Honey, up sphere jump. Ooh, that almost works. Hold up, I want to investigate this. That does work. Oh, just kidding. I'm bad. You actually want to get a backflip here. It gives you just a little bit of extra height. I wonder if this would be worth doing. Because you can reach that pole immediately. Actually, it's definitely worth doing because you want to be here. Right. So the previous area. I guess you could do another jump like here. Shoot, I messed that up. Extra spears, please. There's usually more spears here than this. Hold up, how did I do this, actually? I don't really remember. Did I do a... I forget if I do the vertical or horizontal jump. Because you can do that, right? But that just kind of... That's like barely... Not like just barely close enough to grab the... Or to get to the top. Right, like that's very easy to mess up. And you'd rather do this first try, of course. By the way, this pull... You want to grab it from this side. Because look at this. Look at the direction that you spin after doing the jump, right? So I'm just, spinning clockwise here. If I grab the pole from the other direction, counterclockwise. And that depends on the direction that you're walking before you grab the pole. And it also, just on the ground, it depends on the direction that you're facing. So if I do a jump here, it always spins in the same direction. But if I walk in the other direction, it spins. It changes direction. So in cases where you're climbing a wall, for example, it might matter what direction you're spinning. There's another place later in Metropolis where that's really relevant, and I'll bring that up again. But let's say that I'm trying to climb up here from this direction. I feel like it doesn't line up as well. There's a reason I remembered that. Or maybe it's because I did it in a different way and that was more relevant. The direction manipulation has to use, yes. That's a position to get into. I'm gonna watch my own runs. I want to see how I did this because I kind of forget. I did a vertical jump. So the way that I did this was to run out of spears, and they're all stuck up here. I'll remove all the spears here, and also let's get rid of this steam. Don't do that. And then you don't want to jump too high up because you'll bonk your head there. Kind of want to be like right here in the middle, a little bit lower than that, like on the middle of the spear. And if you want, you can pick up the spear as you're jumping off of it. So you do that, and then you have the spear ready for a scavenger. The reason I do this, by the way, is because this tunnel is horrible. It's always filled with lizards or scavengers. And let's say that you're climbing up the tunnel. Scavengers could show up and then enter the tunnel, and now you're just stuck in here, right? You have to climb all the way back down, and then like, how else do you get up here, right? So you have to do this. Like that is just by far the best option. And I'm pretty sure it's just faster anyway. You still have to. That part is still difficult. Anyway. Whoops. Ignore that. It's absolutely worth learning how to do that if you're going to run this category. Because the scavengers are such a pain in that room. They ended so many runs before I implemented that skip. They just like clog up the tunnels. And even if you can kill them, they're still there. They're still in the way. That's probably not actually any faster. Goodness, explosive spears. I don't need them. I can already make my own. Also, I was supposed to take a shelter. I'm just gonna go do that. The shelter you're supposed to take. Can I, is there a setting I can change in OBS while the stream is running? There. Maybe that'll make it work a little bit better. Also, now that some more people are here, let me know if the audio is good. There's music in the background. Music, game, and myself. I'm guessing that jump is pretty good. Interested in speedrunning? Well, if you haven't already speedrun some other characters, I don't think Artificer is the best option to start with, I'll be honest. They are maybe one of the most difficult. Well, not really difficult overall, but in terms of the length of the run, because the whole run can be as short as about 20 minutes. But in those 20 minutes, there's so many creatures. There's pretty much, you never get a break at all. Constant creatures, scavengers, everything is here that wants to kill you. That is already story percent. It's very short, so it's not really that bad, like, compared to Spearmaster, who, their speedrun is about twice as long, and there's still a lot of creatures, so it ends up being much more difficult. If you want, okay, so for speedrunning, there's like two sides of it, right? There's the movements and there's the creatures. Movements is entirely your own skill. The more you practice, the more movement tech that you learn, the faster you'll be, and the better your movements in runs. Creatures are like half RNG, half skill, because there are ways to deal with them, right? There's things that you have to learn to deal with creatures more effectively. Things like doing extended slide. This is an extended slide. You can do this to slide underneath a lot of lizards that are in your way. So extended slides can be useful. So like either like killing the creature or evading the creature or avoiding paths that creatures tend to take. Those are things that you need to learn that you can have control over. But still, whether a creature is there or not, that is completely random, and that is the RNG component. And I tend to say the difficulty of a speedrun depends on the... Oh, hold on, what am I doing? I can double jump. The difficulty of a speedrun is... It depends on the creatures. You know, if there's no creatures, then it tends to be significantly easier to at least finish a run, right? So let's say like Monk's story percent is a speedrun that takes about an hour, like over an hour. World record is just barely above an hour, but got distracted. You can exit out of the game here. It might be worth it to blow yourself up. I don't actually know if that's faster. Maybe I should time it. What was I saying? So Monk's story percent, it's over an hour long, but Monk has pretty good creature spawns. There's not too many dangerous creatures, and the creatures that are there are less aggressive. Monk is kind of like stealthy, you know, creatures tend to not notice you, so like if there's a white lizard in the way, you can just kind of walk past them and they might just not see you at all, right? even though the run is an hour long, it's not too difficult. There's some sections that are actually kind of tricky, so it's not actually the easiest. Maybe like Monk Sword Descent or Monk, like Outer Expanse. You know, Monk tends to have the easiest speedruns just because of those properties of creatures being less aggressive. Survivor is very similar, but you know, creatures will be just a little bit more dangerous. So if for like I think the like most common recommendation for like a beginner speedrun would probably be Monk Pebbles or Monk Any Percent. Any Percent is kind of jank. It's really short. You basically just go straight down to the depths and then use some sort of exploits to get past the Guardians. In older versions of the game, there's a glitch you could do to despawn the Guardians completely, but that doesn't work anymore, of course. Oh, shoot. Okay, let's put that to the side for a second. This is the problem that I had. Metropolis does not exist. Yeah. We can wait here all day. If I try to warp to Metropolis, I think it just crashes the game, straight up. I'll test it out. What is the room directly after this one? Should be... here. Yeah, the game crashes. So I don't know what's causing that. I think it might be the mod that I'm using to remove creatures. Like maybe the final boss, the Scab King, maybe they are like if they aren't loaded in, then something breaks, or like I don't know, or like maybe it's like trying to spawn in the boss, but it's not able to, so it just keeps trying over and over again. So I might need to, but like I don't want to enable creatures in Metropolis because I still want to practice movement stuff, right? Let's try the different mod. Maybe another mod works. So what I did is I used this one, Game Journalists, because this one lets me keep the scavenger bodies at the beginning of the run while still disabling spawns. But let's get rid of that and use this one instead, and see if that lets me go into Metropolis. Are you ever playing Saints and you're a little bit too cold? Try just removing a region from the game and then trying to enter. The gate will keep you warm forever. Yeah, most difficult movement tech. I mean, hardest required movement tech. Because technically crawl turn vaults aren't necessary in any speedrun. I don't think so. There's some places where it might be situationally better, especially if you can do them like very consistently, which is incredibly difficult. I don't think it's ever required. What would be a movement tech that is actually required to finish a run? That's usually not the case, right? Most of the time, even if you use no movement tech at all, you can finish a speedrun route just the same way that anyone else does, right? Saints Dream Shelter, a broken karma gate. Might be a little bit too warm. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't let you spawn in. Like if I try to spawn in scavengers, it just doesn't work. So that level goes up, which means I think they're still getting spawned in and they're just like shoved in the corner of the room or something like that. Jump is a very important movement tech. Yeah, jumping is required. Charge pouncing is required in some places, I think. See, hope that Metropolis works with this other mod. Oops. Me reading chat at the worst moment. Recording, you mean it saves so much time you can't miss out on it? It really depends on the category then. For rivulets, I'd say for rivulets, definitely wall pounces. Because there's some parts of the run where wall bounces save so much time, especially in the early parts, like the gutter and drainage system. If you don't go fast enough, you can't make it to the next shelter before it starts raining, and you just die. So being able to do those wall bounces lets you skip or prevent. It means that you can skip a shelter, essentially. But you know, that means that you have to get very good at chaining a lot of wall bounces together. Wall bounce is easy. No. It's I don't know if you know, if you've seen the Rivulet speedrun, but there's a lot more. It's more than like, here's a wall bounce, right? Please roll. Yeah, it's opening up. Okay. So, like, this is a wall bounce, right? And you can chain wall bounces together. Imagine doing that, like, but you're significantly faster, and you're like, and doing like several rooms in a row, just constantly wall bouncing back and forth and back and forth. And sometimes doing like corner wall bounces. It's actually not too difficult, but if you mess up the timing a single time, then it kind of messes up the whole chain. So you have to be very careful about it. Wall pounce doesn't mean you blink less. You can do both. You can blink and wall pounce, but the version with the wall pounces is just a little bit slower, but significantly more consistent for me, at least. I know some people have gotten really good at the blink, but I just can't. I don't know the secret. Yeah, chaining wall pounces as rivulets. So question here, what is the best movement? You could do this, right? Or you could just go through the pipe. It's kind of slow, it feels slow, right? Or you could do this, which uses more double jumps. Ah yes, that's relevant for the no left input challenge. Of course, of course. I think that feels like the most reasonable option, to save a double jump. Because you might want to use a lot of double jumps in this room, right? Oh man, the routing in this run could get significantly more complex. I believe if you do a jump to the top of the platform, you can make it all the way. Maybe the dragon jump. The dragon jump is or dragon skip or whatever it's called. That's a very specific movement in one particular room, but it's based on doing a wall bounce like this. It's actually very difficult without a visual cue. Yeah, this particular type of wall bounce might be the most difficult version out of all of them. And you can pretty much do it at the beginning of any Survivor or Monk speedrun, and it saves a decent amount of time. Or rock skip. Rock skip is a way to get past the Guardians using a rock. I actually don't even know if you need a rock anymore. Maybe just a regular slide bounce works, but that's like super like gimmicky, and like I think it's just completely random. It depends more on how the Guardians throw you around than like what movement you do. But that's technically a very important time save. Yeah, most people, I think, most speedrunners use keyboard. This particular tech, where you climb up poles really quickly, this is significantly easier on keyboard. And since you climb poles a lot, you know, it's obvious that it saves a lot of time to use keyboard. But you can still do well with a controller. It's absolutely not necessary to play on keyboard. But I think for like the very best runs, it definitely makes a difference. Side Gourmand can't do it. Poor Gourmand can't do anything. Actually, I think a more reasonable answer to your question is just EI hops or EI jumps. This thing right here. It's basically a way. It's like doing a extended slide, but you jump immediately. It just goes so fast. If you like the difference between two runs, where one run uses EI hops consistently, and the other run doesn't, the EI hop run will be significantly faster because you can implement it in so many different places. Like here's a place you can do it. There you go. You can do one here too, and not too worthwhile for RD because you can already double jump all over the place. Ow. I love accidentally blowing myself up. Actually, I remember now. For Artificer, you actually recharge double jumps faster if you are sparking. So in this state, if you're constantly in this state, you should be able to do more double jumps, I think. At least that's what I've heard. I'm still, they're very difficult. I'm still not very consistent. Already seems interesting to speedrun. Well, it would be interesting if you weren't getting killed by scavengers every minute. Unfortunately, I think the creature density just makes it. I mean, for story percent, maybe any percent is much more reasonable, but for story percent, it's rough. It's very challenging. So for this area, this is the next area where the direction you're facing is relevant. Because you want to climb up this wall, right? Also, hold up. Did someone... Did someone find a better way to do this? I feel like I might have seen a clip of someone doing this, like, efficiently. I totally forget. Yeah, look at this. It's better to rotate, like, clockwise, I guess. Difference between story percent and 8%. For all the downpour characters, the story percent category is to get to the intended end of their campaign. So for Artificer, that means making it to the Scav King at the end of Metropolis and killing him. For Rivulet, it means bringing the Refraction Cell to from Pebbles to Moon. For Gourmand, it means getting to the end of Outer Expanse, right? Any percent just means beat the game as fast as possible. Do whatever. And for most characters, that means go into the depths instead. So most downpour characters can just go to the depths and completely ignore their intended ending. And usually it's a lot faster, especially if you have a way to skip the Guardians. So that's the 80% category. So that's very relevant for RD because you just go straight to the depths, right? I don't actually know exactly how it works. I haven't actually seen a run. Apparently it's pretty good. Probably better than story percent. I think this wall is a lot easier to climb if you're rotating towards the wall. Do speedrunners beat the chieftain consistently? Well, I don't. Some people say that it's a really easy boss fight. I'm bad at it. When I was running this initially, I died to the chieftain 2 or 3 times before I actually kill them once, and that was the run that got the world record. But it was not like a very fast kill. There's a method that's like somewhat consistent. Here's the worst room in the whole run. It's usually filled with scavengers. Like, actually filled. Like, there's like 30 of them in here. No way I'm doing Artie again? Yes way I am. Also has the audio sound. Is it any better? Oh, he's still here, of course. So my strategy was to pick up a bunch of spears and throw them over here. And then stick them into walls. So here, and here, and here, and here. And you want to hold on to one of them. You can hit him. And now he can't take these spears out of the walls. So they're like free hits on him. And now he's running away because he's a coward. This is what you don't want to happen. Because he has the advantage over you. He can angle his spear throws. There we go. That was a pretty bad fight. You really don't want to let him escape and grab like the spears over on the other side of the room. If you can like keep him stun locked and keep throwing spears. The problem is that the spears might just bounce off of the armor. I just found that grenades weren't very consistent. I'm sorry. They never worked well for me. Yeah, the mauling doesn't really do too much damage. And it doesn't really stun them for very long either. Yeah, any strategy to kill I'm like totally open to strategies for this character. If there's a way to kill the chieftain very quickly and efficiently, do share your ideas or clips or whatever. Now go ascend. Yeah, with no karma at all. Now the problem now is if I reset this run. See, now there's no scavenger bodies. So the movement is not the same as it would be in a real run. Get unrealistic RNG and find a singularity bomb. Technically that would maybe be the best option actually. Just randomly find an elite with a singularity bomb and decide to kill the boss. But no, that's such a tiny chance. I don't even think I've seen a single singularity bomb spawn naturally. Yeah, elites can. If you spawn them in arena mode, they spawn way more often for some reason. What if Artie's immune to singularity explosions? I don't think so. I think that within a certain radius, it is just straight up an insta-kill regardless of everything. Probably like the AoE outside of that insta-kill area, that probably does not kill you. It usually doesn't kill you anyway. It's just that like, if you get sucked into the middle, then it's just, you're guaranteed to die. And any creature is guaranteed to die, really. Pipe on the ceiling. Please. Thank you. Yeah, after you beat the chieftain, I think your karma is just locked. Hold up. I should try a horizontal jump here. Artie was the first thing you tried after Dapper came out, you're confused with the karma. Yeah, some people spend a lot of time wandering around in garbage wastes. Yeah. There is kind of a tutorial if you go to Shaded. On a specific cycle. And if you pay attention to a lot of things, I don't know, it's like kind of unclear. But usually, you know, you'll figure it out eventually. Just because it's like there's no other way to like make progress. It's like surely there has to be a way to get through these gates. Yeah, that is a problem. I guess I'll disable karma requirements and just leave this mod on. And just pretend that I'm carrying a scavenger body. I think that if you're holding them in a certain way, they don't actually affect your movements at all. And also wall pounces, right. Don't know if people agree, but you think past garbage weights is a ton of fun as Artificer? Yeah. I don't think many people would agree. I think it's like kind of manageable. It's rough. It's definitely difficult still. I'm not a huge fan. Just because of the creature spam. Also, you know how Hunter can you could do something to control Hunter in the opening cutscene? Could you do the same thing for Artificer? How would that work? How does the thing for Hunter work? Because hot take is the Rubicon is an S tier region. Well, yeah, that's probably true. Ah! How do you do that, man? I shouldn't throw boost. You're not gonna like be able to throw boost if you're holding a scavenger body. Actually, you can. But you need to like grab an item before you pick up the scavenger body, so that you're holding the item in the right hand. If you pick up the scavenger body first and then an item, you'll just throw the scavenger body away. So pick up an item, pick up the scavenger body, and then you can throw with the item and pick up new items, but just don't throw it twice in a row. Or try to switch hands. Actually, I don't think you can switch hands. I think that's the problem. So answer mice confirmed. Or do you control Hunter in cutscenes? I don't know how it works, but there's this one Hunter any percent run, I believe, What's 80%? No, moon percent. Yeah, moon percent. That's a crazy speedrun, by the way, if you want to go watch that. I don't know where you can find it. But, that's pretty recent, though. I don't know if it's on the leaderboards, but it's, you, like, can, like, control Hunter for a bit. I don't know. I don't know how it works. It's verified now? That's great. So it should be on the leaderboards. Also, if I had the scavenger body, I could do roll pounces in these tunnels. And I would die in this tunnel. Yes, most characters have more than one ending. Maybe 3. Wait, do any characters have 3? I don't know why I said that. I can't think of any. Point of quitting and re-entering at the starts? Well, it's kind of, I've just gotten used to it, but with creatures enabled, so in normal runs, if you go straight to the left, Dormont, I guess if you count the food quest as a different ending, that's what you mean. But if you just go straight to the left immediately, the scavenger pool will be filled with scavengers, and it's significantly harder to get past that. If you exit out of the game and re-enter, it kind of counts as the beginning of the cycle again, and the scavengers will like start spawning on the other side of the room. So you have time to get past the scavenger pool before the scavengers like make it way harder to get past. Yeah. Make sure to check the ceiling for a dropping in that room. Artificer is such a cheap character. The fact that you can just do all of this without much effort at all. Do the right movement here. How do speedrunners find these strats? Well, I'm definitely not the one to find them. It's either just intuition, like this is just the natural thing that it feels like that you feel like doing, or you spend like an hour in a room testing every single possibility. Usually I don't do that, but I do like to mess around with my options and see like, okay, this one sequence of movements is pretty fast and it's not too hard to do. So that's usually what I stick with. And there's usually an option that's like maybe faster, but it might have like much more difficult movement. So I found that you can do this. Maybe if actually it's probably worth it to throw a boost there to make it more consistent. Yeah. I'm not usually the one to like discover new strats though. I just do the movement. Okay, hold on. I shouldn't be throw boosting. It's just so natural to pick up items. Also, I should probably be on the top. Should I? No, I can still do movement just fine in this tunnel. And I'm safer from vultures. If only Artificer could craft flashbangs. Can't hold up. Artificer can craft something. You can craft a lantern. So you can turn a flashbang into a lantern for some reason. I feel like it should be the other way around, shouldn't it? Hunter to Mood is a very fun run casually. Apparently it's not. Apparently the speedrun is not very fun. Though I have not attempted it. I've not done many Hunter speedruns at all, really. Yeah, you can just search for Rain World on speedrun.com. That's where all the leaderboard stuff is. But make sure to check the downpour leaderboards alongside the internet leaderboards. I actually don't know which one that one is. I think it's a downpour run. What if I have 2 items here? What was that? That's just very difficult to get the extra height. I've not heard anything good about any of the Moon % runs. For Hunter, you pretty much immediately go down to Subterranean, and that's a very, very difficult region to just run through. At least, I think that's the problem with it, right? It's a base game? Okay, okay. So it should be on the base game leaderboards, not the downpour leaderboards. I thought that was a white lizard. Yeah, there's that one box that's further, but like if it takes longer to walk all the way there, then it's not worth doing. It doesn't actually save too much time. Like walk all the way there and then all the way back to get around the edge. Okay, that Saints shelter strategy, I did not even discover that. I saw someone else do it. It was posted on the random Discord, I think. And I just found that it saved time in the speedrun. That was my discovery. Too far. See, the problem is now is that it's like in the wrong position. Okay, that still worked. Stay in this shelter. 1,300 attempts. That's crazy. Although it is a pretty short speed run, so you know you probably reset pretty often. I had no food. Wait, does this break the run? Hold on, I'm just gonna shelter again. Normally you would eat the scavenger body, and that's where you get food from. I don't usually keep track of my attempts. I actually don't usually use a live split for speedruns. Not anymore. Partially because they were kind of annoying to set up for every time I did a new speedrun category, which was quite often. I pretty much did a speedrun for every character at least, and then probably a few more than that. But I didn't really like the stress of it, the like being on good pace and looking at the timer and seeing that you saved a lot of time, and it's like something that's very stressful. Like don't lose this really good run, you know. Or the other way around, where you're slower and you look at the timer and it's like you lost 30 seconds. It's like suddenly you just kind of feel bad about the run. Like, oh, this is just the worst run. You know, I'm just losing time. Why even continue trying on this run? I might as well just reset. So whether you're on good pace or bad pace, I feel like it makes me feel worse. So I just don't even use it anymore. I just do runs and I just see what time I get at the end. Flanking has 2 uses, both for reveal. I mean, obviously, it's the only character that can do them, but in story percent and in any percent. For story percent, there's a room in the gutter that is really tall, has a pool of water at the bottom. It's basically the perfect use case, and even then, I don't really like using it because it's inconsistent. And there's an alternative that only loses a few seconds. In any percent, there's a really difficult point that you can do that I think saves a decent amount of time. On the far left side of a drainage system, there's a really tall room with like a very shallow pool of water at the bottom. If you get the perfect plink, just in the right position and in the right angle, then it does save time. But in every other case, it's just like it might kill you. It might you stuck in a wall. It might just stun you, and then you have to retry it. You know, there's a ton of ways it can go wrong. The spear climbing tech looks difficult. It's always better to do that than to take the other path and potentially die to scavengers. I'll just say that. The spear climbing is the safe option. I should stop doing that. I can do a double jump. I'm gonna try blowing myself up. Because this gate opens faster. I think maybe I could have done that better. I haven't been able to get the point consistent. I know some people have. But even then, it can mess up very easily, and in some places it's a lot harder. Like for any percent, it's a much more precise inputs. Because not only do you have to get the blink in the first place, you have to like aim it in the perfect direction, which is significantly more difficult. There's an overwhelming number of speedrun categories for this game. That is absolutely true. Actually, that's kind of a big problem with the speedruns in this game. There's so many different categories that there's already not many people who are speedrunning this game, right? And the people who do speedrun the game are all spread out across a bunch of different characters and speedruns. So usually for any individual category, there's only at most like 2 or 3 people playing it, and that's if it's like particularly active. Like right now, Artie any percent is kind of active. At least 2 people I know of are running in that, maybe more. You know, saying a category is active because 2 people are running it, you know, that's how it is in this community. But usually a run being active means that at least one person is doing runs on it and they're talking about it and other people are interested in it, right? Sometimes people want to do a speedrun category because it has not been run very often. Like, oh, like no one else has done the speedrun, so if I do one run, I get world record. And so sometimes you'll see people just do a bunch of different speedruns just to have a record for each of them, if no one else has. Spearmaster any percent and Artie any percent had no records for a long time. What is the most dead category? Probably Gourmand story percent. Literally one of the main downpour characters story percent run, and 2 people have done the run total. One of them being myself. And the second place run is like 3 hours long. It's like barely even a speedrun. It's more like a casual playthrough. And that run was world record for a while. Like, it's kind of sad, really. But also, it's Gourmand, so obviously it's not a very popular character to speedrun. I'm gonna wait on this. I want to see if I can figure out some good movement here. The challenge runs? Oh, yeah, I guess so. There's a speedrun category for every single set of like 10 challenges, I believe. And I think most of the challenges have not even like had a single run completed. That's because most of them are awful, horrible RNG. Just like complete mess. Just like some of the challenges are really inconsistent, or literally just completely random. How fast like you even would be able to do it if you played perfectly. Like some of the challenges are like get like some number of points that you get from killing creatures, and creatures will just spawn in randomly throughout the length of the challenge, right? So if like some like high point creatures spawn in early, then you might be able to get a faster time. But if no creatures spawn in at all, you might just be sitting around waiting for creatures to spawn just to complete the challenge. And for like Hunter, all the Hunter challenges, most of them are just getting points. So that does not sound very fun. I think maybe Survivor and Monk had like the best challenge speedruns. Even then, they're still very RNG. I'm just surprised that not many people have run Gourmand, considering how many people have run like In or Artificer. Like there's way more Artificer story percent runs than Gourmand story percent runs, despite the fact that I think the Artie is significantly more difficult if you try to do it deathless. But actually most of the Artie runs on the leaderboards have deaths in them. That's just how this character is. My run was only so good because I was committed to getting a deathless run, and that's why it took so long to just finish a single run. Because I took a lot of risks. I played very recklessly, just kind of running forward and making progress, even if there were creatures in the way. Okay. But doing that strategy did give me like a significantly faster time than anyone else. Watch me die to the like Eveson after this. I'm gonna try a grenade, okay? I mean, this grenade's right here. I'll try it, okay? I don't know how I'll use this exactly. I'll give it a try. I think I threw too many spears in here. Oh, no, that's still fine. You just don't want any of them lying around freely. Okay, I think that took off one piece of armor. Maybe I could hold onto the grenade and then knock them off the platform and then throw the grenade down at them to keep them stunned for longer. Why have people recommended grenades for this fight? Apparently it's effective. I don't know. Most of the Gourmand speedrun is stamina efficiency. Seeing like what is the best way to move quickly that doesn't use too much stamina, so you don't need to rest too much. So rolling is very effective. Rolling is like faster than walking, and it's very stamina efficient. Something like an extended slide, Gourmand has really fast slides, so an extended slide is like, you can cross an entire room instantly. But having to do the slide and a throw boost at the same time, that does use a bit of stamina. If you do an AI hop, doing the jump on top of that, and then maybe extra jumps at the end, that uses a lot of stamina. It'll usually make you exhausted instantly. And then it's like, is it worth it to do one really fast movement if it's going to make you tired instantly? Maybe. In some cases it is. Turtle Road. Blake said missed the whole run. Thank you. Was the route to Pebbles? From like garbage wastes? I mean, garbage, industrial chimney, exterior Pebbles, right? Once you get to 1 point industrial, it's the same as a Pebbles percent run as a Survivor. I mean, I'm gonna do it again. I think I'm gonna be a little bit slower this time because you guys are talking a lot and I can't read chat when I'm moving at full speed. The main problem with the Gourmand speedrun, specifically Store Percent, is dealing with creatures, of course, as always, as it is for every character. But for Gourmand, if there's a creature in a bad spot, let's say that you're moving normally. You're doing all the movement that you normally would, and you become tired, okay. And then a creature shows up, okay. How do you deal with a creature when you're tired? You can't do much, let's just say that. You will stun them for... You're like, if you throw a rock at them, it won't stun them for very long. Spears basically do nothing. You can't move very fast to like run away from them. You can't do a slide to get past them. Suddenly you have way less options to deal with just a simple like blue lizard, right? And if a creature shows up at a bad time when you become exhausted, it can kind of just end the run right there. And even like the very basic way of dealing with a creature, throwing a rock, or like dealing with a lizard, and you just throw a rock and a spear at them, that usually will at least injure the creature enough so that you can run past, right? If you do that as a Gourmand, you're gonna become tired from throwing that spear. So it actually like slows you down significantly more. If you try to do an extended slide to get past the creature, that also makes you exhausted. Or no, I made that up. It doesn't make you exhausted, it bumps into the creature because Gourmand does this damage on high-speed collisions, right? So if you try to slide past them, you just bump into them. You don't even stun them for that long or deal that much damage, but it does prevent you from getting past them. They still block you. So dealing with creatures in very basic scenarios is much more challenging as Gourmand. How are Saint speedruns? They're some of my favorite. Not very varied. Pretty much they end up being the same. You get all the echoes and then you go down, right? There's not much variety. There's not really any other endings. Any percent and sort of percent are basically the same run. So but the movement, I really like Saint movements with the tongue. You can move very fast in some rooms. But they're not too popular. Another speedrun category that it's not as popular as I feel like it should be. Like, why don't many people speedrun Saints when I think it has some of the like most fun movements in the game? Favorite threat theme? Probably Outer Expanse. I think, hold on, I can make this jump from here, right? Yeah. I should not pick up items. Would it be better to do a horizontal jump here? Can I still make it? Ooh, it's a lot better. Starving the first shelter, made the echo, campaign resets. Yes, please, anyone, if you want to get a second place run on the leaderboards, just complete Gourmand. Complete the campaign in less than 3 hours, and you will have a second place run. Oh, it's difficult though, actually. It feels like being stuck in a cauldron and using a hammer to climb up. What if that's a reference to anything? I'm actually more bothered by the fact that I know that 2 people have done some serious attempts of Gourmand 30%, but have not submitted the run that they did. So there should be 4 total runs on the leaderboards, maybe more actually. If some random person has just played Gourmand, I'm sure someone has probably done a casual playthrough of Gourmand faster than that 3-hour run. Like surely, right? Why didn't they submit it? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, the creatures are a problem for Saints. They definitely are a problem still. The spiders and farm arrays. The wormgrass, honestly, if you count those. There's a karma lizard and a white lizard when you try to grab the yeek. There's mirror spurs. Mirror spurs are a huge problem in Subterranean. Whoops. Yeah, go ahead. Speedrun Saint. It's kind of long, and Rubicon. I mean, if you like Rubicon, then I guess there's no complaints there. But it's definitely difficult when a Mirror Vulture just shows up out of nowhere and kills you, and you literally cannot do anything about it. Or a red lizard, or a spitter spider, or a red centipede, or a slime lizard, or an orange lizard too, or a regular mirror spirit. Honestly, it could be anything. There's plenty of ways to die there. There's a green spider in Undergrowth that likes to just soft lock you. That's a fun one. I should do a throw boost there. Actually, no, I can't because I'm holding a scavenger body in that spot. Actually, shoot. I don't know if that's possible with a scavenger body. Maybe the little bit of extra weight would prevent you from doing that. I'll have to test that, but I can't test it now because scavengers don't exist. They do contribute to the threat level though. Somehow. Yeah, Artificer is very strong, but the weight does slow you down a little bit. The problem is that the mod that I'm using to remove creatures, it's very good at what it does. If I try to spawn in the creature in any way, it will just be removed. I have a mod that fixes that, but it prevents Metropolis from working. I imagine because it removes the chieftain. It's kind of necessary for the game to be beatable, you know? I kind of want to see if you can get a double jump right here, right when you're leaving the pipe. Wrong direction. Yeah, I don't know about that. You know, hey, you can get that big boost. I wonder if you could jump on the other side. But it's so inconsistent though. I don't think that's worth relying on. Yeah, even that. I mean, you could do this. I said you could do this. That's not even enough. It really is the wall pounce that works the best there. That's funny. So in one place, the wall pounce saves time. Everywhere else, it's a huge nuisance. Can I make a jump from here? Almost. Maybe if I went a little higher up. Absolutely. That feels better. But now I'm low stamina. Can I make a jump from down here? I just feel like it'd be better. That. But now I'm kind of low. I'll have to wait a little bit here. That's the wrong spot. Could I potentially save this? Nope. Well, goodbye spear. That's the wrong spot again. The fact that you need to like, because whenever you stab a spear into the wall, it kind of snaps to the grid a little bit. I think it does. Yeah, if I like this line right here, the spear wants to be aligned with that. So if I throw like slightly above or below it, it's gonna snap to that position. And if I throw it low enough, it's gonna snap to the next position now. So I think it's based on the grids. So like here's one grid space, here's another grid space, and the spear will snap to the nearest one of those. So on this platform, I think there's only 2 grid. I mean, I can check. I think there's Is there a way to visualize the terrain? One of these dev tool buttons. I don't know. But the spear can only snap to a few positions. So you really need to like be careful about that. And if you hit the spear, you can just grab it on the next jump. If you're not able to like to make it then. There we go. Least favorite speedrun? Probably Spearmaster Swerve this time. Actually, when was this? Last week? I believe it was exactly 1 week ago. I finished a Spearmaster run for the first time. Well, not for the first time. I finished other speedruns, but they were significantly slower. The record for a long time was like 1 hour and 8 minutes long, and that was kind of slow. It was like a very careful it's like a very, very careful runs, maybe a death here or there. Then some guy shows up, decides to do a little challenge and see if he can beat the game without using any spears as Spearmaster. And he beats the game in 55 minutes. Only using a single spear in the whole run to stab a popcorn plant. Which actually, going out of a way to get that popcorn plant is like slower than the alternative of just like stabbing some drawbridges. And they're doing some like karma caching and passaging to get the rest of the food. So like you're already down by a few minutes, and you can't use spears for the entire run, and he gets a 55-minute run. I'm like, this is crazy. This guy, I mean, obviously it's a very impressive run. Congrats to him, but why does he have the record when he's doing a challenge, essentially? So I was like, okay, I should be able to beat this. And that was 8 months ago. Yeah, that was 8 months ago when I started doing attempts to try to beat that run. And it was last week. Yeah, last week when I finally finished the run. And that run, oh, hello, welcome to the stream. That run wasn't even that good. It was like kind of slow, and because I was playing more carefully and trying not to die. That run definitely could be a few minutes faster. But it is an improvement. Also, I just do the double jump. When will Rain World Pass be revealed? Salve yourself, they're not edible. Does this actually save time? It feels like it takes so long to blow yourself up. But this gate opens, or the shelter opens instantly if you die instead of exiting out. Are fast rolls helpful in Gourmand Run? They're probably the most helpful, because you want to be rolling a lot. So yeah, fast rolls are faster. Hold up, I actually want to hear this explanation again. What is it exactly about Rain World that makes Tassus impossible to make? Graphics engine? Kickstarter funding goal? Where is it then? You can go ask for it. Hey guys, you forgot something. And I'll be like, oh yeah, of course. We'll get working on that right away, because we're definitely not busy right now. Is it raining right now? Yeah. Oh, I should get that stamina display mod. Yeah, I might look at that. Please. Hold up. Yep, sure is raining. Like we're in a rain world. World that rains. Can we do the fast pole climb? Yes, it is very difficult though. So effectively, no. It's like, I think it might be like a frame per bit or close to frame per bit input to get fast pole climbs consistently. And even then, there's so few places where you, like in every place where fast pole climbs would be fast, or where they would be useful, you could just do some wall pounces instead, and they're just significantly faster anyway. Every time it rains, it's a downpour reference. I like when people say downpour, just normally, like as a word, you know. Guys, it's downpour. This room, by the way, if you're too slow, then scavengers like to show up. So you're kind of on a little bit of a time limit. No, permanent wet socks? The ultimate curse. This room is where 2 King Vultures showed up in my my PB run. That was fun and not stressful at all. That's definitely an opportunity for time save. Just don't encounter the King Vultures. That was bad movement. What did I do to deserve these spells to be cast on me? Agents of Pure Chaos, oh of course. Reasonable explanation. They don't know I have several downpour world records running. That's how I feel, like, all the time. Like, even if people join the stream, like new viewers, so like, hey, have you played this game before? I'll pick up a grenade. I'll try the strategy again. Hold up. There's more lore. Man, it'd be so nice to see a Task of Rain world. Like with like Riveted or Saints or just Survivor even. The stuff that you could do. Hold up, I need to set this up. I almost blew myself up. I didn't pick up that spear. Hey, dude. Whoops. I thought it was spinning so I could throw it downwards. And he's leaving. Come back here. And now I fear for my life. This is kind of what happened in the in my previous run. he just kind of runs off and hides on the other side of the room for a bit. Determined to make the grain strats work. I might just reset and try and practice the boss for a bit. Hello, welcome to the stream. Although it'd actually be kind of boring for Rain World, because RNG manipulation would basically just mean that you don't see any creatures. It'd almost make it look the same as a no creature run. Or if there were creatures, they just like would be far enough away from you that they wouldn't bother with you. Which means you might as well just do the run without creatures at all. Right. That's like a proof of concept if you can't get the... I mean, even then. I mean, like, there's a way to make a task by, like, recording inputs, but it's still, like... Do you get a ton of creatures? How does RNG manipulation work? The way that I'm hearing... By the way, I'm streaming on Twitch, if you don't know. Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Both chats are active at the moment. Which is actually quite rare. Thank you, guys. But... The game kind of has this seed that depends on... What does it depend on? Based on the system clock. And the amount of times the RNG is called. So if you control that with like task pools and stuff, you can essentially have the same seed every single run. And since you control the game to some degree, you know, you can control when RNG is called. You can basically just keep trying every single possible option until you get what you want. You're playing that. Oh, right. So creatures can actually speed you up in certain ways. Like there's this tech. Can I do it? No, I can't even spawn in creatures. Hold on. Do I have some creatures that are like not disabled? Like a lantern mouse? No. Oh goodness, something happened. Anyway, Metropolis. But yeah, if some interaction with a creature could save you time, then you would want to manipulate RNG such that the creature just happens to be in the right position at the right time. Because like the creature's behavior and where they decide to move around, that should be like random, right? That was weird. Regrab play? Yeah. But that kind of like absurd stuff is what you might expect from a task run that we'll never get to see. Did not mean to do that. Thank you, Artificer. That actually was like kind of bad to do it like that. Now they can pick up the spears. Yeah, come here. Oh, they're dead. That was kind of surprising, actually. Vulture warping? I guess simply warp into whatever room you want. Riveted slide jumps are the best thing in the world? That's absolutely true. Riveted is such a fun character to move around quickly as. Does Maul do extra damage? I feel like it does less damage. Or just mauling in general doesn't really do that much. They still made it. Miraculous. What if you tried to hold up? Let me do some science. A little bit of science. Which room is it? Here. So let's say you know, let's just grab some grenades for fun. Hey dude. Please fall. How do you get over there? I want to see if I can grab their head specifically. Oh. It's kind of hard to tell. They're kind of harmless, by the way, in this state. Actually, they're definitely harmless. Also, I think this is technically like a completely safe way to kill this guy. Like, they can never pick up a spear. I actually don't even know if it's doing damage, though. And you're gonna stun yourself eventually from doing so many parries. Yeah, this kind of doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Typically, they pick up spears that you throw at them. Okay, that didn't seem to do anything. Seems like a run killer. It was a run killer. It has been. It has ended runs. A lot of people recommended this. It didn't really seem like it was doing anything. I'm gonna do my like old strategy. I think grabbing them there would probably help, so I could like drag them down in a controlled way. But there we go. You kind of want to get them stuck like that. Just keep them stunned permanently. And just throw all the spears. But since they're all stuck into the walls, they can't actually pick up any spears to use against you. Also, I forgot about this. I believe you can only break off a piece of their armor after a delay, like 1 second or like 1.2 seconds or some timer like that. And if you throw 2 spears very quickly, one after another, then the timer won't have run out and the second spear won't do any damage at all, I think. Either that, or there's a random chance that they break off their armor or not, so you can't even control it at all. You just want to throw as many spears as possible. Or a combination of both of those. So like, you have to wait for the delay and you have to get lucky that the armor actually breaks. But also, their behavior has been kind of passive. Like, in previous attempts where I was practicing this fight, it was not unusual for them to just kill you all of a sudden out of nowhere. Just they pick up a spear that you stab them with and we just die instantly. There's no RNG with the armor. Okay. I'm going to. Nice one. See, I think that second spear didn't do anything. Are you gonna get closer? Okay, I think I feel better about that. I'm gonna have to do another full run. So this animation is kind of funny with no scavenger body there. Kind of funny to see how this, I mean, the beginning part. I've seen someone pause buffering for that cutscene to exit out of the game at the first possible moments, and I feel like that is completely unnecessary. Like, maybe you save like a quarter of a second at most, right? Oh, this is great. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like it makes that much of a difference at all. Also, I think that if you know what, maybe I should do real attempts. Just to let you guys know how ridiculous this run is. Pain incoming. I'm gonna skip the vulture mask. which means I'm probably just gonna die to the red lizard instead. I think maybe 50% of attempts die to a red lizard. Roughly. Just a guess. Yeah, it is. But think about, like, even in a scenario where it gets the vulture mask, it might take, what, like 30 seconds? A minute, maybe? Just to wait for the vulture and to kill them and to get the mask. And I know that in, like, best case scenario, you can get the mask much faster than that, but even then, it would be faster just to keep going. Also, I need to remember to check for a scavenger with level 4 karma. So many mods. I mean, not really. I actually tend to play with way less mods than most people. When it comes to, like, playing casually. I mean, for speedruns, you know, you can't have mods anyway, so... Some people have, like, a full screen just full of mods. I never understand that. Oops, thank you for doing that. See, that time a vulture showed up very quickly. Red lizard? Oh, there you are. Oh, thank you for being in the worst possible spot. Oh, not really. That wasn't too bad. Room can be pretty rough. Multiple lizards. And this room. I'm gonna say that for every single room in the game. It'd be unnecessary. Scavenger there. Hello, I've never seen you here before. I thought scavengers were only on, like, closer to the right side of the garbage wastes. But, like, the reason you skip the mask is to get out of garbage wastes more consistently. You still are, you know, now it's like, okay, the rest of the run is now much more difficult. There could be scavengers right here, and that would suck. We're good. Oh, hey, there was. Just a lizard hanging out. Why is that your response? You see me up there and you're like, I'm gonna go down into this tunnel? That's gonna help me do this prey? Oh, thank you. Someone just said something about that earlier. There we go. Disable all karma requirements. That's not allowed. Anything else that's bad? Doesn't look like it. I usually don't touch settings that are relevant, and if they are, then it's like a handful of important ones. That's kind of sad. That was going good. You're allowed to passage in any speedrun, but there's some requirements. You can only passage to a shelter you've visited before, and you can't carry items with you unless they're in your stomach, which is particularly relevant to the Spearmaster. Although maybe not really. How would it be useful for Gourmand? Picked up a pearl. Congrats on that, Red Lizard. Okay, I almost got in my way. The leashes again. Why are there scavengers here? Did the patch change something? The game has been updated. Oh, we're dropping frames. Sorry about that. I should probably be recording these runs in that case, but actually not really. I don't think I'm gonna be seeing anything, but the game has been updated since the last time I ran this category, and when I did run this previously, there were never scavengers in that area. Not at all. I never saw scavengers in that area. Like, if you like dropped the scavenger body at any point, you would have to reset because you could never get one back. But now they're suddenly showing up in that area, which makes you think that their spawns got adjusted somehow. Where are all of them? We'll see more scavengers outside of garbage rates, actually. There tends to be fast way to go down the wall. I mean, you already teleport essentially. You stay in a shelter in industrial, I think. If I remember the routes. You stay in a shelter in industrial. You go up to Pebbles and then you exit out of the game and you just return to the shelter in industrial while keeping the gate open to Outer Expanse, right? So you still travel down the wall instantly. You know, the same thing that a passive would do. And for the entire run, you're pretty much moving in the same direction. So, you know, you never need to backtrack in a way that would make a passage more effective. Getting lucky with the karma, though. Oh, thank you, Scavenger. That really made me feel better. I tried to just like get a little bit of height at least to like grab a pole or do something, but the guy just kind of, I don't know, I kind of got stuck. Oh, do I still have this thing on the screen? Get action. I don't need this. You know, it was actually worse when I tried to get a vulture mask. I would die way more often than this. And since I don't have a mask for the next few areas, oh wow, no karma at all. Okay. Well, I hope I get lucky. I will say, Artificer does have the benefit of not having to karma cache at all. Because normally you need karma to get through gates, right? And you do that by karma caching. It's an I mean, you might be familiar with it already, but it's an exploit that lets you, it lets you, like, get infinite karma without needing to get food. And you die. That's a pull play. See, there's more scavengers than normal. You don't have enough karma. None of you have enough karma. But it's kind of slow and boring to karma cache. So it's usually nice when you don't have to do it in a run. So you can just get started immediately. The trade-off is that you instead just die a bunch. Goodness, there's actually scavengers everywhere. Suddenly, the garbage waste is much more dangerous. This was not the case before at all. Once you got past the room with the red lizard, you would never see any more scavengers in garbage wastes. Not until you made it to industrial. Apparently there's some interesting conditions in which scavengers dead scavenger bodies can spawn in other parts of the world. Like, and I think, like, on your first playthrough, they give you like free scavenger bodies to use for karma gates, and they can only spawn in on your first playthrough and not any future playthroughs. So like maybe if you reset your save file in a certain way, you can get them to spawn in. I wonder if any of those could be useful, but I feel like there aren't any in garbage waste because they don't want you to go to industrial. They want you to go to shaded, right? Okay, you could just take that. Maybe I'll just try to keep going and see if I run into any scavenger bodies. Or, like regular scavengers that I then kill. I think that was scavenger. I don't know where they went. There they are. I feel like at this point I'm not gonna find any. That was the last one. Yeah, I should just went back from. I mean, usually you don't let a king vulture just take him. So that was not ideal from me. What is the most RNG based run? Probably Spearmaster. Yeah, or this one, honestly. Artie is more like condensed, you know, more challenge, more creatures, more randomness within a shorter time. Oh, Max Karma Scavenger, they're pretty rare. But I think across the whole thing it is Spearmaster. But also, I'm usually just talking about the story percent runs, the I'm usually not talking about every single run that there is, because there's more. There's I'm just, you know, this is bad. There's a lot more categories. Like 100% runs are like significantly longer, and technically they could be more RNG, but usually they're not as competitive as categories. So like, if you're a little bit slower randomly, it's not a huge deal. Like you could be a few minutes behind what is ideal, and it's not like technically the longer the run, the more RNG, right? The more opportunities for you to like need to get like. I can't pay attention. Sorry. There's just too much going on. I also lost the scavenger again. Like, even if you're like, if you don't have the mask, not only are you not scaring away the lizards from killing you, but they're also preventing. What are you doing here? Did they? How much did they change your average weights? Actually, all these creatures are like new. I've never seen them before. Like in garbage waste, or this part of garbage waste. She's the parry. Yeah, probably. You don't have enough karma. You know, fine. I'll use you anyway. I don't like using the parry because it uses up two charges, whereas normal double jumps use only one charge. It's like you're using up a lot of speed, basically. I guess in some situations, it's like your only option. Oh, you have enough. Oh, and then if you're holding them in a different position, it like makes them way harder to control. And they can like drag you into other pipes. Gosh. Okay, I don't think we're gonna get a good run today. We're just putting that out there. I mean, Artificer is probably the closest to that. You only sleep once, and it's like to let you like cross the gates multiple times, basically. Or no, it's actually just to save time. But you need to take the shelter there anyway. There is technically an option to not shelter. It's called the like cycle 1 or cycle 0 run. I forget which one it is, but if you take a different routes up to get the pebbles by going through shaded and going up the exterior to get the pebbles, you don't need to shelter at all, because by the time you get to pebbles, it'll be the end of the cycle. And you don't need to worry about rain, right? But overall, it just ends up being a slower route. So for like the speed where you want to go as fast as possible, you don't do that, but it does avoid a shelter. But you pretty much always need to shelter to get your karma level up. It's just the RD lets you use a scavenger body for karma instead of having to shelter. So this is probably the only case where you can do that. But a lot of runs are like, what was that? You shelter to get your karma up, and then you finish the rest of the run in a single cycle. Right. Most any % runs are like that. Oh yeah, and it's also nighttime in Metropolis, so like some harder spawns. Yeah. I'm actually just dead, and the scavenger's gone too. I'm surprised at how quick they were ready to get me. There was no hesitation at all. Oh, my computer is not happy right now. Oh, that's a little like little boost jumps there. By the way, this pipe right there, it's a really short pipe, which means that if a creature goes through it, like, you know how a creature, like, a creature's entering a pipe, that it lights up for a second? Also, I'm definitely dead here. Red Lizards, why are you shipping? But, like, the pipe lights up for a second so you can react to it. Did the pole plant eat them? Hold up. But when a pipe is super short, the time between the pipe lighting up and the creature actually going through it, it's very short. You end up not being, in like some cases where the pipe is really short, you can't even react to it at all. The creature shows up and you die, or like, yeah, the pipe flashes and then you're dead. And so that room, or a few rooms before that one, the Red Lizard can show up and kill you before you can even react at all. And I died there a ton. And I think that's because I went for the mask. And because I spent a little bit of extra time to get the mask from a vulture, it gave the Red Lizard time to get into position to kill me there. So now that I'm just running through, that's not happening as often, but there's still a big problem, of course. You can't just jump over them like with most of the creatures, because they'll keep spitting at you. Also, realistically, this little drone thing should have attached to some random like scavenger, or whoops, that was a mistake. Some random scavenger or like lizard body instead of me. Like, why is it waiting for this particular select guy? Also, wow, that's a lot of 9s. I think this we'll do it like a few more attempts. But this was mostly just a demonstration of the creatures being a problem, and also to see if I want to really skip the mask, because it does actually make some of the creatures more challenging to deal with. Maybe I'm only seeing the scavengers because I'm not getting the mask. Like, maybe if any scavengers show up on the left side of the region, maybe they leave very quickly, and I'm just getting there so quickly that they don't have time to leave, and I still run into them. That feels like a really weird idea, though. Like, why would they consistently leave that area? And see, and then the red lizard keeps going in that direction. Oh, okay. That's great. Thank you. This lizard is having a great time jumping around. Okay, creature spawns are definitely different. I don't know if I ever saw a spitter spider there, and especially scavengers. There were never ever scavengers in this part of the map. Or Dropper, actually. Well, maybe, I mean, Dropper feels more reasonable, but there was like a blue lizard in this area, I remember that. Alright, we made it though. Sure, this will be the last attempt, definitively. Can't really double jump at all in this room. Well, that's awful. And also, vulture. Somehow that... I don't know why the vulture didn't just take the scavenger. Because the body was just sitting there. I don't know why the vulture was just sitting there. guess that's the best that you can do in that kind of situation. This is not a fun place to be. Alright, see, because I was doing practice runs without the scavenger body, I like did movement that is not actually possible if you're holding the scavenger. Oh, you don't have a mask. That means somewhere in this region, there's a mask just sitting on the floor that I could have taken. Fun to think about. Yeah, it's the lowest possible for scavengers. I don't know how it is for other creatures. And I don't know if it makes that much of a difference. But like reputation systems for creatures that aren't scavengers mostly are like not like fully functional. They're definitely functional for lizards. I don't know if like vultures care if actually most creatures really. But I don't know. Oh, they're very pink. It's a very pink scavenger. Dude, the same thing almost happened again. And it did. Well, thank you. Well, that was that. I mean, I could check, right? If I had actually, you know, if I had dev tools on. Sure, I'll look at that before we go. I have a feeling that some of those situations are consistent. Because as you're traveling through the world, new rooms are getting loaded in constantly. And let's say a room gets loaded in, and it has a lizard, you know, so a lizard spawns in, and then they decide to take a path to some pipe, such that they exit out of that pipe right when you get there. And so as long as you're moving at the same speed through the rooms, you're always gonna load in this this creature. Okay, here's all the information, if you can actually read what's going on. So I believe this is... It's actually kind of interesting because it's for scavengers, it's not negative 100, except for local, which I don't know what this means. Maybe this is like the actual value, and so the Artificer is just manipulating this value and saying, okay, scavengers always hate you. It doesn't matter what these values are. This is always like negative 100. But it seems like negative 45 is like standard. I mean, we're in garbage waste, right? Although here it's saying negative 30, 32, pretty much 33. And that applies to lizards. So I don't know if this is exactly accurate, but you might as well just assume that everything is like negative 50. But anyway, that's gonna be the end of the stream. I don't know if I want to keep doing attempts of this. I mean, I guess I will. Right, of course. I'll do attempts of this. I don't know if I want to like super like grind it out and do a ton of attempts, or but I definitely want to see if I can get the movement to work better. It's complicated with deer. I don't know. I know that for like lizards and for scavengers, the reputation is relevance. For every other creature, it's like not 100%. You're not 100% sure if it actually works as it's supposed to. Yeah, that's gonna be the end of the stream. Thanks everyone for watching. See ya.